Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to our animal science class. Take a sneak peek at yesterday. What were some of the animal conditions and species that we talked about? Be the first to share. Yeah.
Cattle.
Yeah, okay, what else? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Dairy.
Uh-huh. Cool. Well, how about some conditions that we talked about, how they can vary? Mm-hmm.
Castration.
Yeah, sure, they can be castrated. Mm-hmm.
Puberty.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So today we're going to take that one step further. We'll talk about the correct terminologies for animal species. What are they depending on their species and conditions? Today, by the time that we're finished up here, we'll recognize key terms and then when to apply them in a real applicable way. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what are the important specific terms that I already understand? Think silently to yourself, what specific terms do I already know related to specific livestock and specific conditions? Okay, please turn to a neighbor or work in a group of three over here. What are some specific terms that you already know?
Steer. Sow, gilt, roar, bar. Oh, calf. That would work too. Bull, chicken. Oh wait, hen. Mare, gelding.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, horses.
Okay, please find a place to dial down that conversation. Let's hear from you. What were some terms that you already knew, some specific terms that you already knew? Yeah?
Bull, heifers.
Whoa, whoa, wow, so fast. Bull, heifer. Uh-huh, what else?
Calf.
Mm-hmm, calf. Ox? Ox. Yeah, what else? Let's get two more. Which one?
Guernsey.
Guernsey, ooh, I like it.
Brangus.
G-U-R-N-S-E-Y, is that, there's an E in there somewhere in there. Yeah, E somewhere in there. And then what was the last one? A Brangus?
Brangus.
Okay, we're talking a bit about breeds in there too.
Pig.
Okay, pig. Uh-huh. All right. So it sounds like we have a bit of background about specific terms today. By the time that we're finished up, we'll know where those terms fit for some economically important livestock species. Now, use that information that you already have with a partner. Here's your challenge if you are so willing to accept it. You'll notice that there is a matrix here. Category is this particular condition, and across the top we have livestock that are economically important: cattle, pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens. You're challenged to work with a partner, get this thing filled out in about 3 minutes or less. Okay, don't worry if you get into a snag here, because we'll go over them together in the end. Questions? Okay. Once you receive a paper, you may begin.
Adult female. You're going like real. Yes, piglets, castrated, bear,
heifer.
E-A-R.
Or barrel.
Okay. What's the one?
I think it's a ram.
Oh, yeah.
By my watch, we have about 1.5 minutes remaining. Looks like most people are about halfway through, approximately.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was focusing. Is that really chick too?
Yeah.
No wonder I don't like chickens.
I'm pretty sure it is. That's the only one I'm really not sure about, but I'm pretty sure.
Poultry.
Well, we take about 30 seconds left. About 30 seconds.
Just chicken. I was like, duh.
Yeah, a young female chicken. That's legit. I've never heard anything else.
I don't do chickens. Beef. Pig. A little bit of pig. Like ears
Well,
on.
that's the only one I'm not sure about.
Okay, please find a place to stop. Here is your lifeline. If you would, please find somebody that's at least, 5 feet away from where you're sitting right now. Partner up with them, have a short conversation about some that you might be a little bit concerned about, have some questions about. 30 seconds to fill up and pair up on some that you didn't know about.
Do you guys get them all?
Okay. What do you got? Yes. So an adult female cow is actually.
Well, a heifer is a young
Cat.
female.
Yeah, and the young female is a
An
heifer.
adult is a cow.
So here is heifer.
Is male. And then when they're giving birth, it's
Bulls
called
are
calving.
intact males.
And then the adult female pig is called a sow. And then the babies are called piglets.
I do pigs and
When you
cattle.
do pigs,
We all do cattle. But then each of us
Oh,
know
wow.
a little bit about either sheep, goats, or chickens. So
And
we got
then
pretty
it's
fortunate. We've all
called
read through
a
animal
bar.
science already.
Chickens, man. Who can remember stuff about chickens?
Oh, is it borrowed?
But if you find somebody that does like chickens, trust me, they really like chickens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, the guy that
passionate
came
about
and lectured us that day was ridiculously
They're passionate about it.
about chickens.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was impressive.
We have lamb. And then when they give birth, it's called lamb.
Okay, please find a place to stop, look at your partner, and say a big thank you for helping you out. Okay, are you ready to see if yours match up with what I came up with?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out. All right, first up on the chopping block, cattle. You ready for this?
Yes.
You think you got this 100%? Okay, let's check it out. Cattle. Adult male is, of course, called a bull. Female is a cow. Young female is a heifer. Baby's a calf. Castrated male is a steer. The process of giving birth we call calving, and the process, or the meat that we get from them is, of course, called beef, right? Everybody's favorite. My favorite, anyway. Anybody else's favorite? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pigs! Oh, man. Adult male we call a boar. Adult female we call a sow. Young female we call a gilt. Baby we call a piglet. The castrated male we call a barrow. Giving birth we call farrowing. And the meat, of course, we call pork. Questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
Is bar also correct, technically? I've heard a lot of people in the industry call it that.
A barrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on what part of the country you come
like
from.
They just said bar instead of barrow. It's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah, I think that's a Midwest thing versus
Okay.
other regional diction, but yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, barrow. Yeah.
Cool.
And I just like to say barrow because when you're given livestock terms, you can say the narrow barrow was kind of rolls in together. Ready for sheep? All right, sheep. Adult male we call a ram. Adult female we call a ewe. Young female, hey, this is complicated, right? We call a ewe lamb. Baby we call a lamb. Castrated male we can call a wether. Giving birth we call lambing. And the meat we call, depending on the age of this, under 1 year of age we call lamb. Aged meat we call mutton. So if it's under a year, we can call it lamb, rack of lamb, leg of lamb. If it's over a year, we call it mutton. Questions, comments? Okay, ready to move on. Goats. Does anybody know terms for goats? This is all brand new for me. Little tiny bit. Yeah, question mark. Yeah, that's where I'd have been too. All right, let's find out some of them. Adult male we call a buck. Adult female we call doe. A young female we call a doe lamb. Baby we call a kid. Now this leads to my personal favorite term in all of animal science. The process of giving birth in goats we call kidding. Castrated male we call a buck, and the meat we call chevon. Does anybody know this one? The meat? Yeah. Very, I suppose, rarely used term. Chickens. Cock or rooster is an adult male. Hen is the term for an adult female. Pullet, young female. Chick is the baby. Castrated male is, of course, called a capon. Did anybody know that you could even do that to a...
I thought, oh wait, that's a turkey, isn't it? The hokey?
The hokey?
Isn't that
The hokey pokey?
castrated turkey? Isn't that because, no?
Could be. I don't know. I'm not familiar with turkeys.
Oh,
Could be. We'll have to come back with that for next time.
It's Virginia Tech's mascot, so that's why.
The Hokies.
The Hokies.
I'll tell you what.
It's castrated turkey.
Come on back in with the answer to that tomorrow. Let's check it out.
Okay.
The process of giving birth, laying, okay, like laying of eggs, and of course the meat of a chicken we call chicken, making it really complicated. Now, this is all well and good, but I have a question for you. Now, why in the world would we need to know this? Who cares about specific terminology? Why can't we just say, the goat's out there giving birth? Why do we need to say that it's kidding? Or we need to say that the baby is a kid? Who cares about any of this stuff? In other words, what's the value in having specific terms? Yeah.
Well, I would care if I was trying to buy a bull, but somebody wanted to sell me a steer.
For example. Okay, yeah. Might be pretty important to know. Uh-huh.
For production purposes, like when you're giving medicines and things, you need to know, like, age-wise, like a heifer and a cow can't get the same kind of amount because they're going to be different sizes, obviously.
Yeah,
And
what?
cows lactate, so you have to go into, like, withdrawal time with lactation.
Okay.
You don't have to do with the heifer.
So stage of production, it might be
stage of
important for them. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, here's your challenge. Are you ready for it? Around the room, you see examples of different livestock, different stage of production, some different stuff going on. On this 3x5 card, work in a group of 3, and you guys can work in a group of 2. Go to at least 2 pictures and describe that picture using 3 of the terms that you just used. So you can talk about it in, this animal is going to produce this type of meat. You could say this is this type of animal, so on, okay? Using at least 3 terms. You have, let's say...
Full sentences, sorry.
Not necessarily. No, you can just jot down the terms, and then we're going to come back and talk about it a bit. Okay? Here's your card. Here's your card. You have about 1 minute. Okay. 2 pictures. Go. Okay, about 30 seconds remaining to make it to your second picture. Yeah, just 2 is fine. Once you're finished, you can make your way back to your seat.
Is castrated and he's actually at the pond. Can you visually tell if the chicken is intact or not?
I'm sure that there's signs of it in terms of size of the animal.
How they grow and stuff.
Probably attitude as well too. An intact rooster is probably going to be more aggressive than one that's not. Okay, cool. All right, let's start out over here. First of all, what species is this? Male or female? Female. So we call her a. Okay, so she's a doe. So how can we? What else can we describe about this animal?
Pregnant.
She's pregnant. Okay, so she's in the future going to kid or be kidding. What else can we say about her? Sure, if you killed her and ate her, yeah, you'd be having Siobhan. Very nice. What do we know about this animal? Rooster, which means that it's a male or female?
Male.
Male, okay. What else can we say about it?
Chicken. Meat. The meat.
If we killed and ate it, we'd say that we were eating chicken. Okay, nice. One more. What's this one? Well, if we killed and ate it, yeah, it'd be beef, right?
Yeah.
What else can we say about it?
If we think that there could be one with the steer because we can't see the other side, the other part.
True, good point. Okay, so possibly a steer here depending, right? Okay, good. So we learned today some specific terms. We've talked about where they're applicable. Let's take it one step back and have a recap of today. I have 3 questions for you. Since you guys are larger, you get 2 questions. You guys get 1. Reflect back a bit. What have we talked about today? Respond in a group, and then we're going to gather these up as a large group, the responses to your questions here.
Okay, what's yours?
Some specific
That's fine.
I forgot about kid and buck, so.
Do you write it down on here?
While she's ready, then we can go here and go. A situation I might use the livestock terminology we discussed today might be to describe the animals we have. Research, like SAEs.
Medicine?
Or production wise, you have to do warmer and stuff. Knowledgeable in the industry.
Okay, let's go ahead and wind down your conversations. Somebody had the question out there, knowing specific livestock term helps me buy. How does knowing these help you? What do you think?
We talked a lot about communication within the animal industry, kind of like how it's, not only is it just how communication happens within the industry, it's also a lot easier to say heifer than young, unbred, bovine species.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So having those specific applications when you're trying to communicate out. Yeah. Some specific livestock terms I learned today were, what did you learn today? What can you walk away with?
We put down like 3. The ones that mostly stuck out to us, kid, pullet, and I put borrow because I forgot that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Final question, a situation I might use livestock terms, and kind of related to what you alluded to as well too. When would some specific times or some specific applications be to this?
To describe what animal you have and what they're like going through, so if they're giving birth or if they're male, castration wise, and if they're like research and then medicine purposes. So.
Yeah. Okay. So today, what we started out to do was to talk about specific key terms related to the livestock industry, on their breed, their sex, and things like that, and apply these to appropriate situations. Hopefully, we took that away from it. This will help us out to tomorrow when we start taking a look at how we can apply these specific terms in our livestock judging competition and start gearing up for how we can apply these to describing different settings and situations through livestock judging.